anyone who gets into the world of fantasy knows what elves are. And sure, they have different forms, they, look different ways, and you either like them or you hate them. But I think one thing we can all agree on is that if elves were also ninjas, that wouldn't be a bad thing for them. Well, Warcrow did that, and I painted one. So let's talk about it, and I'll show you how I painted it. So a while back, my local library was selling books, and I'm always on the look for books, and I actually came across this ginormous book of Elves from Warhammer. Okay, and I was really interested. I was like, I want to read this. And something I kind of struggled with is that when I looked into Elves in Warhammer after that, they're in a weird spot because they're not really that big in Warhammer anymore, at least not that I can find. And I know once upon a time they were, but it seems like a lot of that has changed over the years. And so it kind of made me really happy to get this Syenann action pack from Warcrow. Okay, and the Syenann are the newest faction that Warcrow has added to their game, and they are elves for the most part. They are a people that lost their home, went to the forest, and have now made that their home. And just like most elves in fantasy, they are taking that role very seriously, and they're becoming protectors of the forest, one with the forest. That includes these guys. The Shadow of the Yew is what they're called. And there are 2 elf units in this faction that are basically ninjas. I mean, they got the little nose covering and all sorts of stuff. And so as I was looking through this, I wanted to paint this. I thought, this is a cool thing. I'm going to paint it. They have these cloaks that are like covered in leaves to help them blend in. And I started to think, well, I got to be different, right? And so I wanted to make something that was a little unique to me. And I live in Utah, where we have an awesome autumn where the leaves change yellows and reds and greens and all of that. And so there are all these different colors. And I thought that would be a cool way to do this ninja. He's in the fall, in the trees, and it doesn't matter what color he's in or what tree he's in, he can match because of this camouflage that he's made for himself. And so that's what I set out to do. So the first thing I did was kind of decide what base colors that I wanted for this, and I wanted to stick to that forest, nature coloring. And so I wanted the base coat of the clothing to be green and brown. And so I started with that green. I used the new P3 Ordic Olive to paint this, and I think it's a great green foliage color. And so it ended up just working out perfect, and it covered super well, and I was incredibly happy with it. And then I jumped over to doing the pants and the other things that I thought were going to be leather, and I wanted them to match the tree. I thought the tree's going to be the same color as the pants. I mean, he's going to blend in. He's supposed to be a ninja, right? And so I used a Battlefield Brown, actually, because it's a nice deep brown from P3. And I just hit the tree with it really well. And then I went back and did the leather on the body. And something kind of to point out with all of this is I wanted to be bright. I wanted the colors to be bright because I thought I can always come back and hit it with a wash or something like that if I want to. And so the other leather things, because I didn't want all the leather to just be one color, and I think, all the wood in a forest is not generally one color. So I used bootstrap leather to paint some of the other leather items on his body, including the straps that are around his arms. And then from there, with that base coat mostly done, I try to move from the inside out, from the skin, the base layers of the unit out. And I try to do skin last just because it is so light. And so I jumped over to the skin and did his face and the little arms he had. And then I jumped to the part I was the most excited for, which was the leaves. Painting these leaves in all the different colors was a blast. And I'll list the colors down below that I used for this. And then lastly, I gave him nice blonde hair and blonde eyebrows because yes, to me, that matters. And then I just used some 3D stuff that I had printed to add it to the base to make it look like it was kind of up in a tree, and did his eyes, which I'm not going to put you through that misery. I'm horrible at eyes. I'm getting better, but it just takes forever. So if that's you, you're not alone. And this is the finished product. And I was super happy with this. Like, I love how it came out. I love the colors. I love how different it looks. Like, it was something I was really, really proud of. And it made me like elves a little more. And normally I'm not a huge elf guy. I'm more of a dwarf man myself. But I liked doing this, and it was super fun. And if you haven't checked out Warcrow, you should. And that action pack, it has most of the Syenann units, and they are all incredible, and they are all going to be a blast to paint. And it's a great way to get into the game because you've got a full unit with just that one box. And so if you haven't checked out Warcrow, you should. I have another video on it that you can check out here. And ultimately, Warcrow is just amazing. And I hope to do more, and I hope they keep making more. The mounted units that they've come out with for the orcs and for the humans are so crispy, and just they look amazing. And you should check them out. And if you think ninja elves are a bad idea, I want to know why. So please comment below. Let me know what you think about Warcrow if you've played it, and let me know what you think makes it good or bad. Because right now, I mean, it's still one of those games that's pretty early. It's out there, and I want to know what other people think, but most of what I have heard and experienced has all been positive. So please like, subscribe, comment below if you like the content we're putting out here. I am getting better at painting all the time, and I want to share that journey with you and kind of show you what I'm doing to get better, and hopefully help you get better, as well as show you some other games that you might not know very well, because there's a lot out there. It's not just the Warhammer world anymore. And so I love to get into games like Warcrow, Malifaux, Warmachine, Infinity, and others. So stick around. And as always, don't spend so much time building your world that you forget to spend some time in it. Till next time.